Tractate Bava Metzia, page 91. We'll start 5 lines from the bottom of the page. Itmar chasama bekol. Here we talk about using lips. We see soon a disputation between two great rabbis when one using his lips to lead animals. You go on the street, you go to the park, you see people scream at their animals and ask them to do things, right? So the idea here, you see that when we talk in the past several days of muzzling animal. So if one is muzzle an animal with his voice by bring it whenever he tried to eat, so they said והיא ניגע בקול. So we have the prohibition against employing oxen and donkey together in the Torah. So if one led diverse kind of animals together by means of his voice without performing any actions, so here you see disputation. Rabbi Yochanan amar chayav. Rabbi Yochanan said that he is in violation. It's considering an action and he deserves malkot. Reish Lakish amar patur. Reish Lakish said that he is exempt. It's not considering a total action. So the Gemara explained the reasoning behind their opinion. Rabbi Yochanan amar chayav akimat piv havya ma'aseh. Rabbi Yochanan hold that even twisting one mouth, and that's the way the Ravid explains, that doing such a action, if they have a consequences, so it's basically considering as a total actions. You can say that lav she'ein bo ma'aseh ein lokim alav. The question is how far you go with doing an action that it's not doing something that it's not considering a total an active act. For example, the Gemarrah said in Tractate Shvuot, page 3b, a person take an oath that he eat a loaf of bread, and the day passed by and he didn't do it. So even he is in a violation of negative commandment that the Torah said in book of Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 30, Lo yachel dvaro, but since he didn't do an action, so he's not receive malkot. Reish Lakish amar patur, kala lo havei maaser. Reish Lakish says that he is exempt because the voice is not considering an action. So we derive it from the Isur Chasima. Tosfot challenges because Tosfot said that Rabbi Yochanan himself in Tractate Shvuot said that if a person, for example, cursed his fellow, it's not considering a ma'aseh. But the Rashba explains that it's different between the two. So Eitivei Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. So now, because Reish Lakish said the opposite, Rabbi Yochanan raised an objection to that. And he said, I bring you a source from the Mishnah, Tractate Tmura, chapter 2, the first Mishnah. Page 91. Lo she'adam rashai lehamir. Here we bring a source from the substitution of non-sacred animal for a consecrated one. So the Mishnah teaches us that the chatchila, when we have a animal that is not sacred, so the Torah said lo yachalifenu, we should not exchange it, v'lo yamir lo she'adam rashai lehamir. It's not that the person is permitted to effect substitution, ela she'im hemir mumar. But if one substituted a non-sacred animal for a consecrated animal, the substitution take effect. The non-sacred animal becomes consecrated, and the consecrated animal remains sacred. V'sofeg et ha'arba'im, he receive the arba'im malkot. So you see here that he hold liability for speech even without any actions. So you see here from this juxtaposition they question why Rabbi Yochanan challenged Reish Lakish, why you say that he is exempt from malkot. So Reish Lakish responded and said, Amar lei hamani Rabbi Yudai, the Amar lav she'en bo ma'aseh lo kim alav. So here the source is Rabbi Yehuda that says that one is flagged for violation of prohibition that does not involve an action. So by contrast, the dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish is follow the view of the sages that maintain that one is permitted only for a sin that includes a full-fledged action. You see it, the Gemara proved it from several sources. You see it in the book of Shmot, chapter 12, verse 10, V'lo totiru mimenu ad boker. They said about Paschal lamb, you shall not, overnight, shall not take it over until the morning, and whatever notar, whatever left, ba'esh tisrof, you shall burn it. So we have a positive commandment to burn the leftover after we have the lav of lo totiru. So why? Because that's considering Rashi said, based on the Gemara in Makot, page 4b, that said that lav anitak la'aseh, you don't receive a malkot. So if, what do you derive for that? The opposite, that if it was nitak la'aseh, you have a malkot. Or you just leave the meat until the morning. So the Gemara challenged that. It says, Mi matzit mukma lahak Rabbi Yehuda. Can you bring this Mishnah according to the view of Rabbi Yehuda? והקטן הרישא, הכל ממירין אחד האנשים ואחד האנשים. We bring the first clause of the Mishnah that said, everyone substitute an unsacred animal for consecrated animal, regardless, men and women both. We ask on this Mishnah in Tmura, hakol atuye mai. So why you said everyone? What do you try to add to that? La'atuye yoresh. If someone is a heir, he inherited, so he can substitute an animal for an animal he inherited that was designated for as an offering. Udeloke Rabbi Yehuda, it's not according to the view of Rabbi Yehuda. The Rabbi Yehuda Amar, Yoresh eno memir, Yoresh eno somech. If you go by Rabbi Yehuda, said the heir cannot effect substitution. Heir cannot place his hand on the head of the offering. So it means that this Mishnah did not follow the view of Rabbi Yehuda, and if, regardless, the Mishnah hold that if one who substitute receive a malkot, it's not because they receive a malkot for lav she'en bo maaseh, but because, as we said earlier, that akimat sfatayim, that moving the lip, is considering a maaseh, as we explained earlier from Rabbi Yochanan. That's the way the Ravid explains. So the Gemara said, Hatana savar lekvate b'chada or palikate b'chada. The Tana is basically follow that view in one matter, which means he holds the same as Rabbi Yehuda in one matter, that you receive a malkot on the lav she'en bo maaseh, so therefore the one who substitutes receive a malkot, but he disputed in the davar acher that the ability of the heir to substitute the korban of his father, the offering of his father. That's basically disputed the view of Rabbi Yehuda. The truth is that the Maggid Mishneh and others asking a stira of the Rambam, because, just a side note, because in one hand the Rambam hold that we follow Rabbi Yochanan, that if a person muscles an animal by having his voice, so he receives malkot, and that's basically what Tosfot said here, that Rabbi Yochanan hold that when a person make a noise, make a voice, is considered a maaseh, and versus the Rambam hold that when it's come to tmura, from the substitution, you receive a malkot from different reasons, because it's not considered lav she'en bo maaseh. So you see here, the Maggid Mishneh asks, is a stira in the Rambam, why in the tmura it's lav she'en bo maaseh, and here is not? So the Maggid Mishneh tried to explain in two different avenues, but it's above the scope of our discussion today. Next part is that tashlumim, special payment that impose upon someone who's a muzzle. Tanura banana חוסם את הפרה ודש בה לוקה ומשלם 4 קבין לפרה ו3 קבין לחמור. So Rashi said that it was a rabbinic evaluation for the amount of food involved with a cow and donkey while they do threshing. It's basically based on the full day of threshing, If it was, Nimukei Yosef said it was several hours, he brought the Rashba. So it was several hours or several days, so you go by the hours, so the days. But anyway, I would like to share with you the Shulchan Aruch and Mishpat. In 338, you see the same in the Rambam, in the Hilchot Schirut, chapter 13. One who rented an animal, muzzled it and threshed with it, he is liable to be flogged and must pay the owner 4 kav for a cow and 3 kav for a donkey for each day of threshing. So you see that it's also a practical halacha. V'ha eino loke umet ve'eino loke shalem. We learn many times the subject of kimlei bederabba minei, when you have 2 forms of punishment. One involved with severe punishment. For example, when we study Ilchot Shabbat, if you remember, we talk about someone who did a violation that deserved a capital punishment. While he did that was also a physical damage that involved with a monetary loss. So we said it's enough to impose the heavy punishment, and in that sense, he's exempt from the monetary punishment. So here we have a case like that you have in one hand the punishment of death, and the other hand we have this idea of flog. So the question is, how come the Braita said that one who's chosem, who's muscle, he deserves a malkot and also needs to pay the animal? In a way, is this you can juxtapose to the concept of kimlei. Amar Abaye Hamani, who is this Tana that dealing with this Braita? Rabbi Meir de Amar Loke Shalem. That's the view of Rabbi Meir, that he said that he had both. He is liable to pay and also he flagged for one action. That's basically the Mishnah. That's what said, it's the Mishnah in Tractate Makot, chapter 4, the first Mishnah. That's what elaborates here. But anyway, it's another explanation. Rava Amar, Etnan Asra Torah, Va'afilu Ba'al Imo. Here we talk about the Torah prohibition of offering on the altar, and the Torah prohibits one from bringing an offering for an animal, giving as a payment to, for example, but we just compare it as a juxtaposition, for the prostitute for serving service rendered. So that's basically the text in Deuteronomy 23. But you see the concept that even he is in such a violation, if she's after him, the Bedin cannot impose on him. That's the idea, kimlei bederabba minei. The moment you impose upon a person the heavy punishment, in a way, you cannot impose the small one. The Kovetz Shiurim in Ketubot 93 bring the Tosfot here that said that if by force of circumstance it's already happened, it's you cannot expect the Bedin to impose on him. The third explanation, Rav Papa Amar Mishat Meshicha I Chayav La Bimzonotea. So we talk many times about kinyanim. One of them is the kinyan meshicha, pulling. So they said from the time of his pulling of the cow to rent it for threshing, he was rendered obligation to provide its sustenance when it thrashes. But he said, Umilka lo lakei ad shat chasima. As far as imposing a flag, malkot, is liable only until the actual time of muzzling. So basically he is liable to pay for monetary payment before he incur liability to receive malkot, which means that there are two entities, two separate liability. Obviously, there is a way more to discuss here. There is a Ritva, and you see it also, the Rambam talk about and more. But anyway, Amar Rav Papa. So now we go to two rulings that's not really connected to the law of Chasima, the muzzling, but they have indirect connection. Amar Rav Papa, הנמילה באו מיני דבר רב פאפא בר אבא, ופשט להו לאיסורה, חדה כהלכתה, וחדה דלאו כהלכתה. So the concept here, the Ritva said that he was concerned that people denigrate Torah prohibition. So that's the reason why he imposed more stringency. באו מיני מהו ללוש תאיסה בחלב. They ask him a question. To kneading dough with milk. So you can make a bread dairy. ופשט להו לאיסורה כהלכתה דתניא, להשין את האיסה בחלב, וימלש כל הפת אסורה. Even he just put a salt in order to eat it independently. Why? מפני הרגל עבירה. The rabbi is concerned that he get accustomed to go for violation, for sin, and therefore כיוסה בו תשין את התנור בעליה, וימתש כל הפת כולה אסורה. The same, those days they used to have a oven, old fashioned, they used to smear it. So the rule is that one may not smear an oven with the fat of an animal's tail, and if he did smear the oven with that, the entire loaf baked in the oven is forbidden, because the concern is they eat it with the meat, basar b'chalav, ad sheyasik et hatanur. So until Tosfot in Chulin 111, 112 explain that Mikar Adin, it's enough to clean them thoroughly from this fat. And you have the whole idea of noten ta'am. It's only when you have the fat combining shuman im chelev. But the Braita mentioned that because that's the easiest way to remove it from the oven. The Tosfot explained it. But anyway, so ואידך באו מיני מהו להכניס מין ושאינו מינו לדיר. So in a similar way, here we talk about taking to a pan a different species. So so it's a issue that you indirectly have harba'at kil'aim, a combining of two diverse kind, which is a violation of Torah law in Leviticus 19. The Torah said, "Behemtecha lo tarbi'a kil'aim." ופשטו לאיסור דלאו כהלכתה, דאמר שמואל ובמנאפים עד שיראו כדרך המנאפים, until it's a actual manner of that adultery, ובכלאיים עד שיכניס כמכחול בשפורפרת. When it's come to כלאיים, it has to be in that manner, which is the inserting one like a brush to a tube. So the idea is that the chiyuv, here he was more stringent. He prohibited to have them enter to a pan, but that's basically the chumrah, is not the ikar adin. Just for challenge that, but I would like to share with you what the Rambam said in Ilchot Kil'aim, chapter 9. It is permitted to bring a male animal and a female animal of a different species into a single pan, even if one sees them mating. He is not obligated to separate them. In a place where there is an custom that this might lead people to violate the prohibition against cross-breeding animals, one may not do so. That's basically the idea of Rav Papa. You see it also in your Adea in 297. Mativ Rav Achadvoi ברעמי, אילו נאמר בהם תאכלו תרבייה, הייתי אומר לו יחוז אדם בהמה, הבהמה, בשעה שעולה עליה הזכר, תלמוד לומר כלאיים, לאו מכלל דכלאיים, אחיזה נמי לו. מהי אחיזה? הכנסה. ומה יקרא לאחיזה? לישנא מעליא. So basically they want to use a nice language, using a euphemism, but the idea is the same manner that the inserting. אמר רב יהודה, מין במינו מותר להכניס כמכחול בשפופרת, ואפילו משום פריצותה ליתא. מהי טעמה? בדאבידתי תריד. That he is just doing a job. That's basically the also the Rashi explained it in Avodah Zarah in page 20. But anyway, Mativ Rav Achad Voy Bar Ami. So Rav Achad Voy Bar Ami raises an objection against this. Page 91b. Ilu de'emar. If the pasuk in Leviticus 19, verse 19 stated, Behemtecha lo tarbi'a, you shall not let your cattle copulate, without adding the word diverse kind, the כלאיים. הייתי אומר לו, יחוז אדם את הבהמה כדי שיעלה עליה זכר. תלמוד לומר כלאיים, כלאיים הוא דאסור, המין במינו שערי ומין במינו נמי, אחיזה אין, הכנסה לו. So that's basically contradicted what we said earlier. מה אחיזה, הכנסה, ומה יקרא לאחיזה, לישנא מעליא. The same manner, they don't use the proper language. אמר רב אשי, המילתא באו בניה נחמיה ריש גלותא, מהו להכניס מין ומינו ושאינו מינו, like horse with donkey, לדיר, to the same pen, מהי, כיוון דאיקרא מיני בתר מיני גריר, because the natural way they go the same species. It's not in general intent to go to a different one, so you can put them in the same pen. Or Dilma, you may say, afilu hachei lo, even in this manner, so in general, it's obvious that it's advisable and excuse me, and preferable to be stringent. But the question is, if you go in such a way, that's the Ritva explained, but upashlu leisura delo kilcheta mishum depritzuta avdei. So they said that there is a prohibition, but it is not the halacha. The reason of my decision is because the immorality of those Canaanite slave, that's the slave of the Reish Galuta, and I reason that they are permitted to engage in this practice, they will intentionally crossbreed and claim that it occurred without their intervention. That's also, you see, the Shulchan Aruch Yerodea in 297. Now we are in a Mishnah. We continue with the subject of labor employee, how far he's right to eat while he is on site doing the job. היה עושה בידיו, אבל לא ברגליו. The Yerushalmi in Tractate Ma'asrot, chapter 2, explains that he was hired le'egod omarim, to put together a pile, or the Meiri said that it was a time of harvesting. Sometimes his job is just to carry on his shoulder without using his, moving his hand, his leg. So they said, היה עושה בידיו ולא ברגליו, ברגליו אבל לא בידיו, אפילו בכתפו הרי זה אוכל. רבי יוסי ברבי יהודה אומר, עד שיעשה בידיו וברגליו, unless he perform labor with his hand and with his feet. So Rashi said that that's basically the requirement to use that. Rabbi Yonatan al-Meiri said that when it's come to betzira, that he can do it with his hand without his foot. For example, he leaning on that tree. The Gemarrah later explained it, but I'd like to share with you the Shulchan Aruch Choshen Mishpat 337. He said a laborer who is occupied with produce may eat from that food even if he's not walking with his hand or feet, but merely with his shoulder. That's basically also the Rambam in the Hilchot Schirut chapter 12. Now the Gemarrah explained the reason of Tana Kamma. My Tama, why the laborer allowed to eat from the owner even is not using his hand, his foot, because the Torah used the term in Deuteronomy 23. They said ki tavo becherem re'echa ve'achalta anavim ken nafshecha. We explained it earlier on page 87b that it's a general statement. The Shita Mekubetzet bring Rabbeinu Hananel that said that it's all bechol man de'avid. Bechol man de'avid is any labor that he performed, even it's only his hand, his foot, or in his shoulder. רבי יוסף ברבי יהודה אומר עד שיעשה בידיו וברגליו, מה איתם עד רבי יוסף בר יהודה? כי שור, מה שור? We learn the same as לא תחסום שור בדישו in דברים 25, מה שור עד שיעשה בידיו וברגליו, אף פועל עד שיעשה ברגליו. So he compare the labor that use in oxen that the performing the person the same way needs to use his hand and his feet to perform. by Rabba Baravuna, dash ba'avazin v'tarnegolin, if one who threshed with geese and chickens, so rather than four-legged animal, so le Rabbi Yosef ברבי יהודה מהו? בכל כוחו בעינן והאיקה, או דימה בידיו וברגליו בעינן בעליקה תיקו. Unresolved. אמר רב נחמן אמר בר אבוה פועלים עד שלא יאכלו שתי וערב בגד, אוכלים ענבים ושותים יין. משילכו שתי וערב בגד, אוכלים ענבים ושותים יין. So he said when it's come to laborers in the vineyard, until they have a walk lengthwise and crosswise in the wine press, so the first stage of making the wine, they may eat grapes, but if they when they pass that stage, so they're not. I would like to share with you from Korean edition a translation of the Rambam, Hilchot Schirut chapter 12. Laborers in a wine press may eat grapes, but they may not drink their juice until they have walked lengthwise and crosswise in a wine press. Once they are done, so they may both eat the grapes and drink the juice. Mishnah, continuation of the right of laborer to eat while performing works. היה עושה בתאנים לא יאכל בענבים, בענבים לא יאכל בתאנים. So basically, if he's performing work with grape, so he cannot eat figs and vice versa. So it means that he only specifically type of food that he was working with. So this halakha, even he was employed to perform labor with both type of produce. But at this very moment, he performed labor with one of them. אבל מונע את עצמו שמגיע למקום יפות ואוכל. He may hold himself back from eating until he reaches a place of good quality, grapes or figs, and eat from this as they are the same type of food. וכולם לא אמרו לה בשעת מלאכה, אבל משום השבע עדה על הבעלים אמרו, פועלים אוכלים באכילתן מאומן לאומן ובחזיתם מן הגת, ובחמור כשהיא פורקת. The Rambam said, again, Hilchot Schirut chapter 12, by Torah law, a laborer is permitted to eat only while performing his labor. He may not sit and eat, claiming that he has refrained from eating until that point due to his work. To protect the interest of the owner and prevent the worker from neglecting his job, the sages instituted an ordinance, like a rule, that laborers may eat after finishing one row in the field while they are walking to the next. So the rabbis ask a question based on this Mishnah. עושה בגפן זה מהו שיוכל בגפן אחר. So basically he's dealing with the same species because he's dealing with grape, but can he goes and do the other? ממין שאתה נותן לחלב של בעל הבית באינן, והיא כעודים ממש נותן לחלב של בעל הבית באינן והליקה. So the difference is if you're dealing with species, the concern, or what you put with the homeowner vessels. ואם תמצא לו מה עושה בגפן זה לא יאכל בגפן אחר, שור במחובר איך יאכיל. So how can, when it's come to an ox performing a labor with produce attached to the ground, how can one enable to eat it? The ox is tied to the front of the wagon, while the laborers are walking in a vine adjusted to the wagon. So as a result, it is impossible for the ox to eat from the vine on which labor is being performed. So, אמר רב שישה, ברד רב אידי, בשכרה. So here we talk about long branches. So long branches is possible for the animal to perform labor at one end of the branch while eating from the other. תשמע, היה עושה בתאנים לא יאכל בענבים. התאנים הוא תאנים דומיה דתאנים וענבים אוכל. והיא אמרת, עושה בגפן הזה ולא אוכל בגפן אחר, איך המשכחת? למה רב שישה ורב אידי? במודלית. So you're talking about mudlate, that hanging the vine. And he eats from the edge of the branch while walking on the other side. תשמע, אבל מונע את עצמו עד שמגיע למקום היפות ואוכל. He avoid himself until he go to a place that they have a good quality, and then he eats. והיא אמרת, עושה בגפן זה, אוכל בגפן אחר, נזל ונהי תבני חול. So again, the difference is because ביטול מלאכה, אתה משום ביטול מלאכה לא כמה בעילן, כי בעילן אחד אישו בניו מה, they have the family, his wife and children there, so can they do that? תשמע וכולם לא אמרו לה בשעת מלאכה, all of them we saw talk about while he performed work, אבל מפני השב עבודה לבעלים אמרו, פועלים אוכלים באכילתם אומן לא אומן וחסדם מן הגת. So they can eat, labor may eat, as they walk from one row to another row, and upon the return from the wine spread. So what's the concept? They said, Savua ma'alech ke'oseh ma'aseh dame. The one who was walking is considered like one who's performing his labor, as is permitted for him to eat. ומשום השב עבודה לבעלים הוא דאכיל. מדאורייתא לא אכל. על מה עושה בגפן זה? לא אוכל בגפן אחר. The Gemara rejected it, said no. לעולם אם הלך עושה בגפן זה, אוכל בגפן אחר ומהלך לאו כעושה דמי. יקרא אמרי סברו, המהלך לאו כעושה מעשה דמי, והיינו תמה דמאורייתא לא אכיל משום דלאו כעושה מעשה דמי. העושה מעשה אכיל מדאורייתא, על מה עושה בגפן אחד, אוכל בגפן אחר? לא. לעולם אם הלך עושה בגפן אחר, זה אינו אוכל בגפן אחר. page 92, ומהלך כעושה מעשה דמי. But a walker who is walking is considered like one who performing his labor. So, since one who is performing labor on this vine may not eat from another vine, he will not be entitled to eat while walking, if not for the rules of the sages. The last part in the Mishnah, בחמור כשהיא פורקת. כשהיא פורקת, when it's unloaded, מהיכן אכלה, from where it's eat, אימה עד שתהה פורקת. They said until it is unloaded, as long as it's bearing its load, the donkey may eat from the food on his back. תנו לעדתנו רבנן, חמור וגמל אוכלים עם עשוי שעל גביהם, ובלבד שלא ייטול בידו ויאכילם. So they can eat, provided that the owner of the animal does not take some of the food in his hand and feed them. So the Shulchan Aruch in Choshen Mishpat in 338 said one must allow an animal to eat as long as it is walking with items that grow from the ground, whether they are detached or attached. It may also eat from the burden on his back until it has been unloaded, provided that its owner does not feed it in manually. So, see in the general concept that the laborer, poel, מותר לאכול מבעל הבית. In the next shiur, in the next Mishnah, we're going to speak how far the laborer can eat from the בעל הבית, from the owner.